Frame. On episode 2 of my TJ Wrangler part out, we're going to be pulling the body off the frame and separating a lot of the components, pulling axles, and actually cutting the frame and the body up. Stick around, there's going to be an episode 3, and I think you're going to like that as well. Well, we got it rigged up, and now we'll take the body off. It's folding in the middle. Looks like a taco, it's getting folded. Yeah. I see the parking brake cable going skyward. Oh. That was a good parking brake cable. Well, to say that Jeep is rotten is an understatement. Well, it flattens back out once it's on the ground. Due to the poor condition of the frame, I'm going to pull apart the suspension, brake lines, fuel lines, axles. Then I'm going to dissect the frame itself. Start taking the rear suspension apart. Start taking the upper shock bolts off. Shocks are free. Try to gently free the panhard bar. It might pop, I'm not sure. It should just leave us one bolt on the bottom. I don't think I'm going to get a very good bite on this bolt, or this nut, I should say. Just cannot get a wrench in here. And there's the truck bar relocation bracket off. Well, apparently whoever installed the lift kit didn't understand the importance of a washer on something like a sway bar link. We're going to have to cut the rubber around it, unfortunately, like I did on this one, to expose enough of the bolt to be able to grab it with a wrench. It's a captured nut. That's helpful to know. I'll pull the other side and should be able to get the springs out once I get the other sway bar link off. We'll see just how flexy this thing is. I wanted to try to keep all the suspension links on it so I could still have it around as a roller, but we'll see what happens when I drop it. Well, she definitely goes low with no springs. It'll still roll around, which is what I need to do for right now. Next, I'll be pulling all the front suspension equipment. And after that, we'll chop the frame and the body up. We're going to take the front shock bolts off. The upper shocks have a cut, and they do normally require a special socket. You can also use an open-end wrench or vice grips, but I am trying to save these to sell them. I have to get a small pry bar and pop that off. I'm not at the part where I want to take the brakes apart yet. Bungee corded the master and booster to a board so that it won't damage the lines anymore. I'm going to take the lower sway bar link bolts out, get some other steering components off, and then we'll come back and get the pan hard bar off. Steering stabilizer bolt off. Take the upper sway bar link bolt off. And we should be able to free the sway bar link from the bottom bolt. Try to clean the crust off this and get the lower pan hard bolt off. God, I don't know why they put those on with torque bits. We're going to take our upper control arm link bolts out, and then hopefully everything will come right out. Take the shocks out. Now, if all goes well, we'll take the front springs out. There we go, one lowrider TJ. We're going to start today with a nice sunny day, taking the brake lines and fuel lines off the frame. This is our main feed line in the tank. Clips into the fittings on the tank that go into the pump. They clip into these plastic lines. There's also some vent tubes and some other equipment. These popped out and were partially out when I got it, but we're going to take them apart down the line here. We're also going to pop the brake lines out of the clips as well. Ooh, frame! I'm going to take these lines off. At least the front lines were replaced with newer stainless stuff, so I'm good to sell this if I can. I have a drain pan set up underneath the master cylinder. I also want to coat my driveway in gunk. And take the driver's side brake line off. We're going to pull the brake line through the front from the passenger side. It's free on this end. It would be clipped in here, clipped in there. Clip here, there is a clip there, clip here. And this line is free. This is from the master to passenger side wheel cylinder. And this is our line from the master cylinder to the driver's side wheel cylinder. I'm not going to worry about the soft lines. I'm just going to end up cutting them. I'll pull the axle, and I'll do the same thing with the rear. The slammed Jeep look isn't really that bad. That might be an issue. Spinning. Frame routed right out. Now we'll start sectioning the frame, likely back to the suspension components, and then pull the axle and just keep chopping. Just a little rust. Take the lower front suspension arm bolts off. I'll roll the axle forward, and then I might have to reposition the jacks on the frame. I do have something in the back, so it shouldn't tip, but we'll see. Everything rebalanced. There's safety on the front and on the back. What I'm doing is dangerous. Don't try this at home. I'm a mildly trained professional. Far as we got today, and try to sweep in or run the vacuum. We're gonna pull the bolts and pull the rear axle out of the frame. As you can see by the booger welds, this had a frame reinforcement. You can see as it's double thick through here. So this frame was junk. What is left of my frame. I'm going to take the piece out of here for the lift. You can see where the frame is cracked. Try to save that bar, those crossbars, for the lift, and sell the lift as a whole unit. Try and save these lift brackets that go in between the frame and the transfer case skid plate, but They're cracked just like the frame, so unfortunately I can't. We're going to start cutting the body up. I've not done anything quite like this before, so it's going to be a learning experience. About a third of the way through it. Now it's mostly hovering. In order to give a better balance to it so I can cut the rest of it apart, I'm going to lift the front end up, move that little cart forward so I can cut the front off of the wheel tub area. Attempt to take the tailgate hinge bolts out. I'm amazed. I'm not amazed. Big surprise, the Torx bolts for the tailgate hinges don't want to come apart, so all that body removal for one freaking bolt. My friend wants these hinges, and since they won't come off, I'm going to cut the body around it and give him the whole thing. He can torch them off. Well, I've got some parts to go through, get up for sale, clean up, finish prepping. Axle's going to be for sale, and basically everything I couldn't use or was too bad is in the back of here. Thank you for watching my second video on the Jeep Wrangler TJ teardown. I'm going to do a third video. It's going to be a little bit. It's going to be going through dismantling a lot of the interior components and some other pieces and parts that I had problems with. It's going to be kind of a hands-on how-to, funny stuff. And stay tuned for a couple videos in this little guy. We're going to get it running and driving and fix some other components for a friend. Like, share, subscribe, and keep watching for more content.